Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on the deadliest, or at least one of the deadliest inmates in California State Prison. Now, you don't have to crash to get cash. And if you've heard about people making money off their phones, it's most Tyler L. Yates. And this is his California, prison ID photo, right? Bro's got...
Yeah, just looking back at the tattoos, you can already tell that he's affiliated or part of some gang within the prison system.
That SD on his face for San Diego. I don't know what the circle with the cross is. I'm guessing that's like some white pride shit or something. And then he's got the skull on his face, whatever, right? Clearly looks a little bit wild, but the story behind this guy is so fucked that I wanted to make a video strictly on it. Now, on Reddit, this would say, this man is a menace. But I don't understand why they would allow him to have a cellmate after the first in-prison murder he committed. They usually put them on single cells.
Yeah, that's the thing with the president being locked up. The people who run the prison system, the wardens, etc., the people in administration and management do not care or do not really care about what happens within the prison. People can be violent within the prison, within the cell. They can kill people. For example, this person, he killed someone and he still was given another cellmate. After the first murder he committed, the management should not have allowed him to have another cellmate. But that's just how it goes in prison.
Status. Reminder, all of these incidents occurred at the exact same facility, New Folsom State Prison Level 4 in Sacramento, California.
Transform your business with Yellowfin dashboards, the best way to monitor and understand your data. And
now, I just wanted to give you all a visualization of what this prison looks like. There's a ton of videos on people getting killed at New Folsom State Prison. And this is just going to give, bro, this is literally a crime scene we're looking at. But this is how the prison looks. So when you're inside of here, the yard, right? You're not tall enough to see past none of this shit. So all you see is the sky and sand. You don't see any grass. You might see mountains in the background. I don't know. California's a little bit different. But this is pretty much all you're seeing. And you can see they got the red tape. They got all these offices out here. This is a prison crime scene. They got to bring detectives. They got to bring all types of people. They got to take pictures of the murder in prison. And for y'all that don't know, I was in prison for MIPs. I was specifically in prison for one MIP in which I knew the person who did it. And he did it in front of everybody at Senegate. Stabbed this other dude in the neck. Dude died right there. They locked down the whole prison. And while we're locked down, we had to still go to chow. When they take us to
Yeah, while he's speaking on his experience in prison and who was there and so on and so forth, I just wanted to say, having gone to prison, having been stabbed, having committed violence upon anyone else, it really has no meaning or holds weight with regards to anything. There's nothing to brag about. It's nothing positive. Nothing positive can come of it. Because while you're in prison, you're losing time, you're losing experience, you're losing life. So for you to come out and talk almost as if you're bragging about it, it holds no weight. You've been in prison for so many years, you're losing work experience, you have no work experience. What you think you're going to do when you come out of prison? How are you going to be a valuable part of society and provide for your family? So having been in prison, having been in the streets, there's nothing to brag about or talk about in a positive aspect. There's only negativity related to the streets and to prison.
chow, there was buses coming in bringing new inmates. And they had the buses held up in the salad port at Appalachian Correctional Institution. And as we were leaving chow, they were pressure washing the blood because, the sun's strong as fuck in Florida. They were pressure washing the blood off the floor, so all you could see was a pink mist. And right after we watched that, after eating, seeing the pink mist, the last remains of this dude that just got smacked, we walked back down the hill towards our dorm, which was a closed custody dorm, and we see the bus full of new people. And we're looking at them, we know they're looking at us. And I took a moment to think, like, imagine being on that bus because they didn't allow them on the compound because the compound was locked down. They got sent back to reception. So imagine being a new cock. It's your first time in prison. You went from reception to you think you're going to your first prison. They stop the bus and tell you, oh, somebody just got killed. Y'all are going back to reception. Y'all will be back in a couple of days. I don't want to go back there. The fuck do you mean we coming back here? That's how it is in there.
When you're speaking about reception in prison, that's the section you first take into as you come in the prison. You take in there, they take your photo, like ID photo, your personal information, your fingerprints, and your personal details. And then you sleep within a section that's called reception. And then most likely, oftentimes, the next day, you're taken into the section of the prison where you will be at.
It's active, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, in 2017, Tyler...
Another thing I wanted to say about this picture, just judging from this picture, this individual, his tattoos, his whole demeanor, this is not the type of person within a prison that should have cellmates. Just looking at this picture, you can tell that this person is most likely prone to violence and, as they say, has the ability to kill someone. Murder. Just by looking at him, you can tell that this person should be in solitary or not amongst supposedly normal prisoners, non-violent prisoners, or prisoners that are in the prison for non-violent offenses.
Yates first arrived at New Folsom Prison from San Diego County in 2017. He was sentenced to serve 8 years in prison for first-degree burglary and assault likely to cause great bodily injury. So, San Diego, that's how we got the SD. From my understanding in California State Prison, you can't even put the city you're from unless you earn it. Like, you gotta be a stepper from your city in order to wear it, especially like have it blasted on your face. Like, you gotta be somebody from San Diego. You can't just stamp that and then be like a nobody. You know what I mean? He went to prison on a burglary, first-degree burglary, and hurting somebody.
That's how idiotic this whole thing about prison and the streets is. They're saying for him to have the San Diego on his face SD, you have to be somebody in the streets. Meaning you have to have committed some sort of crime like violence, murder, robbery, etc. Now what they're essentially saying is because you've committed those crimes that I've just mentioned, now you automatically become a somebody. How is that helping you with your life in any way?
Whether he broke into a house, whether he broke into a car, whatever, and somebody got hurt. Now, in 2022, two fellow inmates, Tyler Yates and Gregory Roach, are suspected in the death of Nathan Marcus on March 22nd, 2022, which is being investigated as a homicide. Yates and Roach have been moved to a segregation unit during the investigation. So, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5 years after being in California State Prison, he gets involved in a stabbing, which ends as a murder. And 2 years after that, in 2024, a Sacramento County jury convicted Tyler Yates of murder for killing the 33-year-old after stabbing him to death in the prison. And in 2024, Tyler Yates was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole for first-degree murder as a second striker. Now, peep game on this. 2017, he gets sentenced to 8 years in prison. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 5 years. He was only sentenced to 8. He had 3 more to go. I don't know how it is in California, but you don't do the whole sentence. You get game time, right? 3 years to go. catches a murder. In 2024, 1 year to go, that he would have got released, he said.
That's the whole thing now. With regards to him having stabbed that person and catching the murder, it might have not been his intent to actually kill him. Maybe they got into a verbal altercation that became physical. He ended up stabbing him in self-defense or whatever, and then this person passed away. So whether his intent was to kill him, we don't know. But that's how it goes in prison. Situations occur, you have to defend yourself or you have to take action. And unfortunately, sometimes these type of things happen, or a lot of the times, these type of things happen.
Sentenced to life without parole. Bro, this is how treacherous prison can be.
Yeah, just know now that he's been sentenced to life. This individual, he knows he's never getting out of prison. So psychologically, he's fucked up, making him more dangerous to anyone around him within the prison system.
B. 1 year before you go home on your original case and you're sentenced to life without parole, no chance of you ever coming home. Because of the fact that you're no longer in control of how you move and how you politic and the choices you make. You're in prison. The prison runs it. The prison runs you. The fucked up thing about prison is you don't follow the rules to end up in there, but to survive in there, you have to follow the rules. That's what he did. He followed the rules. California State Prison, you gotta be ready to go. When you get picked, hey, it's your turn. Here's the fucking knife. You gotta do exactly what he did. Turn 8 years into a life sentence. But he wasn't done though. That wasn't it. So a year after getting sentenced to life, at 1:21 p.m., officers observed incarcerated persons Tyler Yates and Jake Kennedy attacking Jonathan Rood on the main exercise yard. Rood was taken to the prison's triage and treatment area where emergency medical personnel continued administering life-saving measures. A paramedic pronounced him dead 20-something minutes later. So after already catching one...
Yeah, as I said this just a few minutes ago, after him receiving a life sentence, psychologically he's messed up now. So now, from now onwards, his time in prison while he's alive, he's now capable of anything. Any violence, murder, etc. Just know that this individual now, because can't blame his life sentence, but now knowing that he has a life sentence, he's more dangerous.
Body. These two guys team up together and kill this dude. And to be honest with you, these three people, only two of them look alike, right? The guy all the way to the right, unless his whole body's tatted up and we just can't see it, he seems like, I don't know. Just compared to the other two, they look like fucking maniacs. And he looks like he could work at a 7-Eleven. Does that make sense? And they, for whatever reason, they took him out. Now, what's crazy about this is the guy they killed, who was 39 years old, was only serving 4 years for a vehicle theft. And it breaks down how Yates, who was 30 at the time for this second murder, was originally serving 8 years before killing somebody. And then the other guy was sentenced to serve 6 years for carrying a knife, and he was sentenced to an additional 4 years over another prison stabbing. So he turned 6 into 10. Yates turned 8 into life. And Rood went from 4 years to a death sentence. So at this point, Tyler Yates is 30 years old. He's been in prison since 2017. It's 2025, and he's already killed 2 people. He's already got life without parole. He's got nothing to fucking lose. And then he does the craziest thing you can think of. Less than 2 weeks after they killed Rood.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about now. After having received his life sentence, killing 2 people within the prison, the only thing that's likely now is that there'll be more violence on his part upon the other prisoners and inmates. He is now capable of anything.
6:13 a.m., officers during a security check found incarcerated person Jake Kennedy in the cell with multiple stab wounds. Staff immediately restrained and removed Kennedy's cellmate Tyler Yates. Kennedy was transported to the institution's medical.
Why are they still allowing him to have any cellmates within the cell? It's obvious now after 2 murders that this individual should be in a cell alone, in isolation, as they call it.
Where he was pronounced dead. So just 2 weeks after Tyler and Kennedy went and killed him, Tyler kills, what do you want to call him, his co-defendant, his brother-in-arms, whatever the fuck this guy was. They teamed up and caught a body, and then he went and whacked him. Maybe it was because the first murder, he felt like the other guy told or said something, I don't know.
Yeah, you are just noticing now this tattoo here on the left side of his cheek looks to be the same tattoo as this one on the left side of his cheek. So most likely they're affiliated within the same gang.
But he went and killed the dude he just killed somebody with 2 weeks prior. Now, whoever posted this on Reddit would say Yates coming in clutch with the 3-piece. This man knocked off the one who helped him unalive a guy a little over a week prior. The bastard is beyond ruthless. He needs to be sent to hell. Fuck the hole. Watch him end up back in GP by next week. I can promise you, if he's not condemned after this third in-prison slaying within 3 years, his next target is 1000% going to be a correctional officer or someone a part of the prison staff, no doubt, since they keep giving him slaps on the wrist for these slayings. He's already got a 3-kill streak on his fellow inmates. It's got to be enough inmate blood on his hands at this point. He's definitely going to try aiming for a more valuable target and spice the next one up a notch. Now, this got to be one of the baddest motherfuckers I've heard of when it comes to prison violence. I mean, you hear this shit all the time with California, how the politics are so unforgiving and you don't have a choice. And people that have the opportunity to go home turn that into a forever stay, a permanent stay. That's exactly what he did. He went in there with 8 years, killed somebody, got life, killed another person, and then killed the person that helped him kill him. I don't even understand how they didn't let him out of the shoe after the first murder. Like in Florida, you do something like that, yeah, you're going to be sitting in a box for a couple of years before they let you back out. You're not catching a murder in prison, an MIP, and then going back GP. And he did this on the same fucking prison. All 3 murders happened at the same prison. They didn't even ship him somewhere else. This is crazy. This is a bad dude. This is the type of guy you do not want in the cell with you. And the reason I wanted to share it.
This is the type of individual that, as is brought into a prison system, should be put in isolation or into a cell where he is alone. Just judging from his appearance, as I said before, this person is capable of anything.
He's only 31 years old. He's the same age as me. This is how drastically different your life can be with mistakes that you don't think about in the moment. You're not thinking in the moment breaking into this car is going to turn into a life sentence with no parole. 3 murders. Forever spent inside of a concrete cell. You're not thinking like that. And that's why it's important to cover these stories and these situations where people clearly didn't think like that. And now they have to live with the forever punishment. Wait until they get killed or until they do it to themselves. That's the sad reality of prison.
Yes, that's the sad reality of prison. That's the sad reality of crime. Whatever you do, the street crime, everything of that nature is not worth it, because that can only end in 2 or 3 ways. Either you getting sentenced and going to prison, either you dying. The best option will be for you to change your life, leave the streets, leave crime, get a normal job. No matter how hard it is, no matter how small your salary is, you'd rather stay on the straight and narrow, thus ensuring that you don't go to prison, you don't die, and your family has you for as long as they can. The streets, crime, anything of that nature is not worth it. Is the reward worth the risk, as they say? Is the crime you're committing worth potentially serving life in prison? Ask yourself those questions before you engage in anything related to the streets or related to crime.
31 years old. Couple wrong choices, I could have been in the same position. You could make the wrong choice and end up just like him, stuck with a life sentence. But hey, let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, or y'all rocking with me.